Okay, hello. Hold on, let me get the, oh boy. Okay, so we were talking about Michael Jackson and some other things, but there is some stuff that I want to talk about. Here we have this one, where did this? Okay, so we have a makeup artist that was murdered inside her Virginia home, and her son is charged with her murder. So let's talk about this one. This story, true crime story, first in our headlines. And Virginia man is accused of murdering his mother, a Newsmax makeup artist who worked for Greta Van Susteren. Police in Arlington, Virginia, accused Logan Chrisinger, 27 years old, of having shot and killed his mother, 57-year-old Travis Renee Baldwin, inside the residence on August 17th. Officers were called to the house on the morning of the 17th after a report of a shooting, and upon the arrival, officers located an adult female inside the home suffering from an apparent gunshot wound. Officers administered life-saving measures before medics transported her to a local hospital, but she later succumbed to her injuries and was pronounced dead at the hospital. Police described the shooting as a domestic-related homicide. Chrisinger was on scene when the police arrived. He is charged with first-degree murder, aggravated malicious wounding, and using a firearm in the commission of a felony. It's not immediately clear if Chrisinger has entered a plea or retained an attorney. And Greta Van Susteren said, and I quote, "What sadness. My Newsmax makeup artist of 3.5 years at ABC and ESPN, and a friend to all of her colleagues, was murdered over the weekend. She did my makeup Friday for the show, and of course I never dreamed it would be the last time I would see her." Terrible. And let me just make sure that we are live and you can hear me, because otherwise you can. Yes, good. You can hear me. All right, so that's terrible, right? And what else do we have here? Let's see what we've got. We've got something that I think was it Jen Grill said about Bryan Kohberger and what he's complaining about. Bryan Kohberger right here. Let's take a look at what's going on with him. So Bryan Kohberger files a sexual harassment complaint over threats in prison and begs for transfer. He submitted a handwritten note begging prison officials to transfer him out of the J Block at the Idaho Maximum Security Institution. 5 days later, he handed a note of concern to a guard in which he said he was being sexually harassed by other inmates who were making threats as, "Tell him I'll BF you." Kohberger was also accused an inmate of saying, "The only A will be eating is Kohberger's." Kohberger did not receive a transfer. He's having a very difficult time adjusting to prison. On July 30th, he submitted a handwritten note requesting that he be placed in a different facility after just one night on the J Block at the Idaho Maximum Security Institution. Not engaging in any of the recent flooding, striking, as well as being subject to minute-by-minute verbal threats and harassment, and on that and other bases, Unit 2 of J Block is an environment that I wish to transfer from, Kohberger wrote. Flooding refers to inmates intentionally causing water to overflow in their cells as a form of disruption. Just 5 days later, August 4th, Kohberger complained of sexual harassment in a concerned note to a prison guard after an inmate allegedly told him, "I'll BF you." Kohberger also accused another inmate of saying the only A we'll be eating is Kohberger's. Let's see, the guard submitted an information report 3 days later saying that while he recalls vulgar language being used and directed towards Kohberger, he was not able to discern what inmate said what at the time. Kohberger was transferred to the J Block on July 29th. J Block is a unit that can house up to 128 individuals and includes a mix of general population, protective custody, and death row inmates. Individuals like Kohberger who are in long-term restrictive housing have single-person cells. They're transported in restraints and they receive 1 hour of outdoor recreation daily. They're also permitted to shower only every other day. And that's a far cry from the hour-long showers he was able to take in jail. He asked in his note if he could be transferred to the B Block, which, like J Block, includes single-person cells and only allows non-contact visits. In the response to his handwritten note, a prison official says flooding is a relatively rare occurrence in the J Block, and it is generally a fairly calm and quieter tier. He is then told to give it some time. At the end of his more recent complaint about the sexual harassment, prison officials say Kohberger feels safe to remain on Tier 2 of J Block. Kohberger claims he's going crazy from jailhouse taunts. Let's see what's going on here. Just weeks into his prison term, he appears to be at his wit's end amid taunts from the other inmates, and now the state of Idaho is responding. Spokesperson for the Idaho Department of Corrections said that Kohberger has complained about taunting from other inmates at the maximum security prison, where he's serving 4 consecutive life sentences for the murders of 4 University of Idaho students in 2022. They said, and I quote, "We are aware of Kohberger's complaints about what he considers taunting," said the Idaho Department of Corrections official. He said, "Incarcerated individuals commonly communicate with each other in prison. Brian Kohberger is housed alone in a cell, and Idaho Department of Corrections security staff maintain a safe and orderly environment for all individuals in our custody." The statement came after a retired homicide detective spoke out in the media about inmates at the prison making Kohberger's life miserable since he has arrived following his sentencing last month. Is driving him crazy. The inmates are tormenting him at night and almost all hours of the day, taunting him through the vents. They're utilizing the vent system, they're kicking in the doors, they're taunting him, and basically they're now torturing him through psychology. So he's not really enjoying his time there. Let's see what else we have going on. Okay, let's see. A missing California woman is found dead in the forest, and her husband flees to Peru. That doesn't sound good, does it? Okay, let's get this over here. 33-year-old mother of 3 was found dead on August 16th. She was reported missing in California, and she was found dead in a forest on August 16th. Her husband is the lead suspect in her death, and He was allegedly seen dragging a large object from the apartment that they shared with their 3 children. Crescenta Valley, Altadena, and Montrose Mountain search and rescue teams found the body of Sheila Gutierrez over the side of an embankment in Angeles National Forest at approximately 10 a.m., said the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office in a statement. She is survived by her 3 children. Gutierrez was pronounced dead at the scene, and the cause of death will be determined by the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office. Gutierrez went missing from Lancaster, California on August 12th. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office believes that her husband, 36-year-old Joshamar Cabrera, is suspected of killing her, and he has fled to Peru. The 3 children were found safe in Peru and taken into protective custody on August 16th. On August 13th, during their investigation, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office found video surveillance that appeared to show Cabrera dragging a large object from the Lancaster Boulevard apartment complex where Gutierrez and her husband and their 3 children lived. Gutierrez's mother, Helga Rosillo, is now calling upon U.S. authorities to help locate Cabrera. I'm very depressed, but I have to be strong for my grandchildren, she said, from Peru in Spanish. She also said that her daughter planned on filing a criminal report against her husband due to alleged psychological and physical abuse. She told me that Josama Cabrera hit her, mistreated her, and even slapped my youngest grandchild, who is 3 years old. Several members of the Gutierrez family claim that Cabrera gave mismatched accounts of his wife's whereabouts throughout her disappearance. Gutierrez's sister claimed that Cabrera told her family that Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, had taken her. He allegedly later claimed that his wife had left him for another man, and in a third story he said that she had suffered an accident, but declined to share the details. The Peruvian consulate in Los Angeles confirmed Cabrera arrived in Peru with the couple's 3 children. The consulate said the Peruvian authorities could not detain him because there was no warrant for his arrest. Neighbors told Los Angeles News that Gutierrez had confided in them that her husband was physically abusive prior to her disappearance. Okay. Gutierrez's parents told the news station they spoke to their daughter on August 9th, and she said she was going to take her children and leave her husband. Wow. Terrible. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Wow. I didn't even realize Winona Judd had a daughter? Hold on a minute. I didn't know Winona Judd had a daughter. Winona Judd had a daughter? I didn't even know she was even married. Well, her daughter is not happy with her. That's for sure. Winona Judd's daughter, Grace Kelly, I think it was Grace Kelly, said her former stepdad, D.R. Roach, essayed her when she was 10 years old. She also accused her mother of being able to sweep me under the rug and abuse me and then cover it all up. Roach was arrested in 2007 and charged with sexual battery against a minor, though his victim was never publicly identified. She's 29 years old now, the daughter, and she spoke about her experience with the stepfather to whom Winona Judd was married from 2003 to 2007. She filed for divorce days after Roach was arrested and charged with sexual battery against a minor, though his victim was never publicly identified. Kelly, who was 10 years old at the time of the alleged abuse, said that Judd tried to unite the family through counseling, but ultimately escalated the situation once the extent of Roach's abuse emerged. When they found out in counseling what he had done to me, they're like, wait a minute, we're going to report this to law enforcement. When he was arrested and it came out in the news, that's when she divorced him. She continued, so is my mom rich? Yeah, she's so rich that she was able to sweep me under the rug and abuse me and then cover it all up. I don't want to talk bad about my mom, but we'll just say she's a good performer. She was never a mother. Wow. Who's this girl's father, though? A spokesperson for Wynonna Judd did not immediately respond for comment on this article. It doesn't make sense. Wynonna Judd is currently raising Kelly's 3-year-old daughter, Kalaya, and is also a mom to a son, Elijah. Okay, so she says her mother's never a mother, but her mother's raising her 3-year-old daughter. This does not make sense. Kelly has faced a number of legal troubles over the years, including 3 arrests in 2024, and the most recently served 6 weeks in jail. Let's see, she's recently moved to Charlottesville, Virginia, and is doing well after getting sober and finding religion. My story is so messed up. Between 12 and 17, I was in 14 different facilities. Kelly, who Judd called the strongest Judd woman in her story, in 2020 said she's working on a memoir tentatively titled Pronoia about her complicated life. I believe that's now my time, she said. I've never had a voice and I was iffy about talking about all this stuff, but no matter what is said about me, the Bible says the truth will set you free. Judd, who shares her 2 children with her first husband, Arch Kelly III, said upon filing for divorce from Roach in 2007 that she was absolutely devastated. Our family will pull together, begin the healing process, and hopefully by the grace of God become stronger. We will move forward with our faith, family, and our friends to find resolution to this difficult situation. She also said that Roach was seeking treatment for drug and alcohol addiction in Texas. He's currently listed as an active offender against children in Tennessee. The database said he pled guilty to criminal attempt to commit aggravated SB on the date of offense, February 1st, 2007. Then, I guess, Wynonna got married to someone named Cactus Moser in 2012. She said the aftermath of her divorce from Roach, that she went into mama bear mode after his arrest. He was out of the house within the hour. I called him everything I could think of. I had a moment where I let it all fly, and then it was done. I trusted him with my life, and I didn't want to stop trusting people. Because of the child, I won't speak about it. It's their story to tell when they're ready to talk. That's what's so scary, is that someone that you know, there's a trust there, there's a bond. The best revenge is living well. I cleaned out my house, got rid of everything that reminded me of him. Then she said she was SA'd at 12, Wynonna. She shut down, carried the weight both literally and figuratively, covered herself up with clothing as much as possible. Yeah, that sounds like a real mess there, right? And there was a stabbing at a Phoenix high school. Let's see here. Okay, let's see. What is this about? Is this recent now? Yeah. Fugitive dad is vanished into the wilderness with his 3 children. Let's look at this. Tom Phillips vanished into the New Zealand wilderness with his 3 children in 2021. Police say he fled with the children after a dispute with the ex-partner, the children's mother. His family is now asking Phillips to return home with the children. They've been gone 4 years. Nearly 4 years ago. In 2021, Tom Phillips disappeared with Jada 12, Maverick 10, and Ember 9 after a dispute with their mother. Phillips was last spotted with his children by pig hunters who filmed them on a remote North Island October 7, 2024. Despite massive searches, reported sightings of Phillips and the children, and even a reward of 80,000 New Zealand dollars, which is equivalent to 52,000 US dollars, for information on their whereabouts. And here's the children, I guess, at the time. There's another. Now Phillips's family is making a renewed appeal for him to come back. I miss you. I miss being part of your life. Who's that? Rosie Phillips? Is that the wife? You're very special to me. I really want to see you again. With tears in her eyes, Rosie told the journalist that she is making this appeal now in hopes that just maybe he's going to see this and maybe he's going to get to see that he can come home and that we are here for him and it just might be okay. Rosie read aloud from a letter their mother had written, which said, "It hurts every time I see photos of the children and of you, and I see some of the things that are still here, thinking about what could have been if you had not gone away. Jada, Maverick, Ember, I love you so much, and I really miss being a part of your lives. Every day I wake up, and I hope that today will be the day that you will come." In October of 2022, the children's mother, Kat, spoke, saying she was relieved to hear the children were alive, but accused her ex-partner of using them in pawns in his game. The children shouldn't have to be worrying about where they're going to sleep that night or whether they're going to be warm. During his time on the run, Phillips is alleged to have committed a series of crimes, including a robbery, according to New Zealand police. September of 2023, an arrest warrant was issued over the alleged armed robbery at a bank in a remote village of Te Kuti. In May of that year, police alleged Phillips made his getaway on a black farm-style motorbike. New Zealand police are urging the public to continue to pass around any information they know regarding the whereabouts of Phillips and his children as the hunt for them continues. Oh. And they still have not found that little boy, Emmanuel Harrow. And there's new details. Remember Travis Decker, that father they've been searching for after the 3 girls were found deceased? They say that there's new information. I wonder if it talks about his bloody hands there. New details have been released in the case of Travis Decker. Decker, a 32-year-old U.S. Army veteran, disappeared on May 30th during a court-appointed approved visit with his daughters, Peyton 9, Evelyn 8, Olivia 5. When he failed to return them to their mother, Whitney Decker, at the scheduled 8 p.m. drop-off, concern grew quickly. Whitney reported the girls missing at 9:30 p.m., and that launched a frantic 3-day search, but it ended in devastation. The girls were found dead near Travis's abandoned pickup truck at the Rock Island Campground, which is a very remote campground in Chelan County, on June 2nd. Meanwhile, the father was nowhere to be seen. Travis is wanted on first-degree murder and kidnapping. Each girl was found with plastic bags over their head, and at least one was restrained with zip ties. In an updated press release shared on the 19th of August, there were additional details about the conditions that the sisters were found. 2 of the victims each had 2 separate bags over their heads, and a third victim had 3 separate bags over her head. In addition, several cable ties were located on the ground in the immediate area of the bodies. A medical examiner previously determined the 3 sisters died of asphyxiation, and the manner of death was ruled a homicide. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office reiterated Tuesday that Travis remains the sole suspect in the murders, citing DNA evidence allegedly linking him to all of the plastic bags that covered the daughters' heads and one of the zip ties. The completion of the DNA analysis provides additional evidence that includes and indicates Travis Decker is the only suspect involved in committing the homicides. Investigators previously said that the Washington State Crime Lab said that the blood found on the tailgate of Travis's truck matched the DNA profile they believe is his. Travis had been the subject of an intense manhunt. Authorities have said that the military veteran is well versed in wilderness survival, but they also believe he may have fled to Canada after he allegedly searched how to relocate to Canada online. I think he's taken his own life. I do. There have since been 2 debunked sightings of Decker. At this time, we do not have any evidence to suggest that Travis Decker is either alive or deceased, the sheriff's office said, and a $20,000 reward has been offered by the U.S. Marshals Service for information leading to his arrest. Crazy, huh? Okay, let's see who's here. Gail B., White Angel, Jane Grill, Heart Made Wise, Video Reel. What happened to our newbie? What was our newbie? Where is he? What was he? Case research or something like that? What was he? Research? Why can't I think of his name, huh? But I think, my gosh, it's 3. I've got a big day tomorrow, and I've got a big day Friday, a big day Saturday, and a big day Sunday. So I've got to get some shipping done tomorrow and other stuff. I have to. Got a bunch of other stuff to do to get Ethan ready, and then lots of stuff to do. So if you're just joining us, This is what we do to unwind at the end. Is do these puzzles. Good night, Jen Grill. Thanks for helping out. What is this last word here? I'm gonna have to use this because I'm tired. On to, oh boy. Okay, guys, I love you. God bless. Prayers. I'll see you tomorrow. Be good. Let me go back over here. I don't know where this.